Well, welcome back. This is Jeff O'Lahane, your YouTube reviewer of New Hampshire and New England brews, and I have with me today a bottle of Emperor Norton's Cinnamon Stout. The Cinnamon Stout, not a recipe you come across every day. This one is brewed by my hometown brewery, which is Manchester Brewing, and they've only been around for maybe a year or so. I think they came into being at the end of '08, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm not exactly sure, but they've been around a year or so, year and a half, and so far most of the brews they've come up with I've really enjoyed, and they've really had a few interesting recipes, such as this Cinnamon Stout, like that Jolly Soldier there on the label. Not much to look at bottle-wise. I mean, most of their labels have this kind of, they like this sort of black and white feel to most of their labels. Is very unique to their particular name brand and their particular brewery, and so you can kind of tell when you walk into a store that this is a Manchester brewery beer, and their beers are getting out more and more, which is a good thing. They're getting out around the state of New Hampshire, plus maybe, who knows, soon they may be getting out into other areas of New England. So let's pop the old golden bottle cap on this one, on this Cinnamon Stout, and see what we get. Well, let's see. Not much I see in the area of the smoke or the mist, but again, I'm not big on that. It's kind of a neat thing to see. Some people really love that, but I'm more interested, I think, in the flavor and the way that it smells. Let's take a pour on this Cinnamon Stout here. Well, right off the bat, I see it's got a very handsome, very brown kind of pour to it. Very brown, dark brown. Has the look of a porter, or of course the look of a stout. Of course, it is a stout, so it does look like a stout, but very thin head. It's diminishing rather quickly, as you can see. You can see the little carbonation bubbles that are going up and down in this glass and spinning around a little bit thanks to the pour. So, not a bad-looking beer. Very brown, kind of a brown, almost black. Let's take a whiff of this. You want to take a whiff? See what you think right now. There's your chance to take a little whiff, and let me see what I think. Well, there's definitely a bit of that stouty sort of feel to it. Has a bit of the cinnamon. The cinnamon isn't as pronounced as I thought it might be. And maybe it's not supposed to be, since I've not had a cinnamon stout before. Maybe it's supposed to be kind of subtle, but it's there. It's subtle, all right. But otherwise, it's got a good dose of the chocolate and of the cocoa that you kind of get in the stout. So it really has a good stout aroma to it, with that little hint of cinnamon, a little bit of hint of in there as well of the hops and the malts that you get with a stout. And I'm going to take a little taste of this brew and see what you think. You want to take a sip? All right, let's see what I think. Well, it's definitely a good aroma of chocolate, a good flavor of chocolate and chocolate malts, kind of also a bit of a cocoa sort of feeling, and the coffee grounds kind of feeling you get. It ends in a sort of dry way. No aftertaste that I really notice. It's got a real kind of slightly bitter flavor, but that chocolate and that cocoa aroma is also in there, as well as the cinnamon. But I guess I'm not sure how to rate a cinnamon stout. Is it supposed to taste like, a cinnamon roll or something? Maybe, maybe not. If it is, then it's probably not so good, because you really don't notice any cinnamon. But if the cinnamon is only supposed to be kind of subtle and kind of there just to kind of give it that hint of that flavor, then it works out really well. Works well. So I think it's a nice brew, though. Overall, it's really a nice brew. More thinner than a lot of stouts I've had before. Not quite as medium or bold body on the palate, but it's sort of medium range, thin to medium, but not watery by any way. So it's really kind of a nice little brew, and I think that it does have some potential, and hope you give it a try sometime.